words of Mazi Kanu, he spoke extensively of the evil that will be perpetrated to Nigerians if we allow these people from the Sahel to take over the country. And so the pain and the agony continues today. People are being killed in their numbers. Children are being kidnapped. People are in forest with terrorists. And just last week, we saw an army general died in the kidnappers' den. And what they said is that he died because of natural ailments, diabetes and hypertension. The man that was kidnapped, healthy, all of a sudden developed hypertension and diabetes in the forest. And because of shock, because of pain, the man died. Now, the most sad part, or the most touching part of this whole thing is the fact that these terrorists came out, transferred the body of this man to the people, to his family, and then the soldiers. Do you know, after transferring the body of this man to the family, these terrorists went back into the forest without any gun battle exchanged with them. Nigeria has become a crime scene. But let's listen to Mazi Kanu in his own word. He warned the Yoruba people. Let's listen to him.
Do you want the same thing to happen to your families, to your villages? Do you want your towns, let's say Obomosho, to be renamed into a Fulani name? Do you want to...
For some reason, I'm not sure what's going on. I think they have some bugs on this video. Sometimes I try to play it and then it just hit a roadblock. I'm not sure what's going on. And I think for some reason, possibly they restrict StreamYard from playing this video. But regardless, there is nothing they can do. Mazi Kanu spoke, and he spoke extensively. Mazi Kanu spoke about the evil, about the terrorism, about the kidnappings that is going to be happening in Nigeria. And he spoke extensively. Nigerians, all that we can do at this time is to ensure that Tinubu remains a one-term president. We must ensure that Tinubu remains a one-term president. We cannot afford for him to come back. The country is being destroyed. The country is being run aground. People are dying in their numbers. Homes being destroyed. Palaces, kings, monarchs are leaving their palace. And we see this evil continues. Nigerians, we cannot afford to fold our hands. The only viable option that we have today is no other person than Mr. Peter Obi. And so it is ideal that we all stand tall. We continue to speak. We continue to call out the government. People are dying in their numbers. The country is being destroyed. The country is being run aground. And so we cannot afford to fold our hands. The only thing we can do at this time is to make sure that our voices are heard, is to ensure that our voices is out there. We are speaking, we're calling out the evil government and the people that will not allow the country to run as it ought to run. Nigerians, we cannot afford to keep quiet. Let's listen to Pa Ayo Adebanjo.
You are fighting for your freedom. It's not another election you're having. If Obi does not win, forget Nigeria.
Children without sponsors. All the politicians behind it, they can't pick children and show their pictures. Do you know by even DSS kind of work, they will know where the people are? So how come? There must be an invisible hand behind it. Because DSS can pick if you're calling from anywhere, they will know the spot where you are. So how come in Nigeria nobody's ever caught? Don't see evil and close your mouth. Never be a part of what? Evil. With anger, I said I'm not going to vote, but I will vote because it's my legitimate right to vote. But I want to appeal to two sets of people, not to disappoint us: the judiciary and INEC. because they have disappointed us. We all know there are people whose name tomorrow, the former INEC chairman, what face will he use to face Nigerians in this thing? There's no way church name will be called and anybody will say thank God. Not all judiciary people, they are very clean judges, but some of them have made judiciary look like a mess. That even a layman who does not know law will say, what is all this? Before the hope of a common man is to go to judiciary. Now you will see law interpreted like one law in one state is different from another law in another state.
To answer a Fulani name. Forget all the nonsense about unity of Nigeria. All they are uniting against is your common interest. Unless you prefer epileptic power supply, unless you prepare to live your whole life without running water, unless you want to live in abject poverty and deprivation, your only alternative is a revolution. Let nobody discourage you. All the countries of the world doing very, very well, they all went through a revolution. You must go through it. If you don't go through it, you can never ever survive. As a people, Fulani will take you over. As simple as that. This very day, we are making it known to the whole world that the Muslim extremist dictatorship masquerading as a secular democratic government must be demolished. It must be demolished for you to survive. They have to be demolished. If you do not demolish them, your lives will end very, very miserably. I assure you. I assure you. The zoo is on its knees. Everybody knows that the zoo called Nigeria is on its knees. Who doesn't know that? Everybody knows. Nothing is functioning. You are all aware of it. When they say go and register for NIM or whatever rubbish is called, all of you trooped out without legislation, without any laws. Fulani can control you however they like. Once they announce it, Yoruba newspapers very foolishly and stupidly will support them because they want Tinubu as the president. And you are all dying every blessed day. You are all dying every day. Had you people risen up to say that what is happening in Nigeria is bad, there is no way that Fashoranti's daughter will not be alive today. That is the price you pay for duplicity. That is the price you pay for treachery. That is the price you will continue to pay until you rise up and say enough is enough. It is up to you to do it. You did it during NSAS. You can do it again. Can you imagine Fulani people telling you, if you remove Fulanis from Yoruba forest, imagine Fulani telling you, if you remove them from your ancestral lands, there will be war, and you are panicking. And you have not asked yourself, why are they not saying the same thing about the East? Why did they not say to Eastern Security Network? Why did they not say to me, if you don't stop evacuating Fulani terrorists from the forest, there will be war? Because they know, they understand psychologically that you don't have what it takes to resist them. Do you know why Borno State is still alive? Why you still have the Kanuri people in Borno today? Was because they resisted the Fulani centuries ago. You have to go back to history to understand how Nigeria came into existence. Fulani has been expanding from day one, from Senegambia. All the way from Senegambia, they've been expanding, and now they are in Okigwe. All the way from Senegambia. They are now in Okigwe. And you're asking us to somehow fold our hands and keep quiet because of 2023, because one idiot is going to come out to become a president, because of that rubbish, because of that nonsensical notion, we should fold our hands and wait until we are overrun by the Janjaweed from the Sahel. Is that how reasonable people think? Is that how people that wish to survive as a race, is that how they reason?
Lightly. You are fighting for your freedom. It's not another election you're having. If Obi does not win, forget Nigeria.
Do you want the same thing to happen to you? Do you want the same thing to happen to your families, to your villages? Do you want your towns, let's say Obomosho, to be renamed into a Fulani name? Do you want Onisha to answer a Fulani name? Forget all the nonsense about unity of Nigeria. All they are uniting against is your common interest. Unless you prefer epileptic power supply, unless you prepare to live your whole life without running water, unless you want to live in abject poverty and deprivation, your only alternative is a revolution. Let nobody discourage you. All the countries of the world doing very, very well, they all went through a revolution. You must go through it. If you don't go through it, you can never ever survive as a people. Fulani will take you over. As simple as that. This very day, we are making it known to the whole world that the Muslim extremist dictatorship masquerading as a secular democratic government must be demolished. It must be demolished for you to survive. They have to be demolished. If you do not demolish them, your lives will end very, very miserably. I assure you. I assure you. The zoo is on its knees. Everybody knows that the zoo called Nigeria is on its knees. Who doesn't know that? Everybody knows. Nothing is functioning. You are all aware of it. When they say go and register for NIM or whatever, NIM or whatever rubbish is called, all of you trooped out without legislation, without any laws. Fulani can control you however they like. Once they announce it, Yoruba newspapers very foolishly and stupidly will support them because they want Tinubu as the president. And you are all dying every blessed day. You are all dying every day. Had you people risen up to say that what is happening in Nigeria is bad, there is no way that Fashoranti's daughter will not be alive today. That is the price you pay for duplicity. That is the price you pay for treachery. That is the price you will continue to pay until you rise up and say enough is enough. It is up to you to do it. You did it during NSAS. You can do it again. Can you imagine Fulani people telling you, if you remove Fulanis from Yoruba forest, imagine Fulani telling you, if you remove them from your ancestral lands, there will be war, and you are panicking. And you have not asked yourself, why are they not saying something about the East? Why did they not say to Eastern Security Network? Why did they not say to me, if you don't stop evacuating Fulani terrorists from the forest, there will be war? Because they know, they understand psychologically that you don't have what it takes to resist them. Do you know why Borno State is still alive? Why you still have the Kanuri people in Borno today? Was because they resisted the Fulani centuries ago. You have to go back to history to understand how Nigeria came into existence. Fulani has been expanding from day one, from Senegambia. All the way from Senegambia, they've been expanding, and now they are in Okigwe. All the way from Senegambia. They are now in Okigwe. And you're asking us to somehow fold our hands and keep quiet because of 2023, because one idiot is going to come out to become a president, because of that rubbish, because of that nonsensical notion, we should fold our hands and wait until we are overrun by the Janjaweed from the Sahel. Is that how reasonable people think? Is that how people that wish to survive as a race, is that how they reason?
Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. More legal issues are coming the way of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, as the Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to deregister the party and 4 other political parties. The other political parties are the Action People's Party, APP, Action Alliance, AA, Accord Party, AP, and Zenith Labour Party, ZLP. The judge, Peter Lifu, made the order in a judgment on Monday. He noted that the affected parties breached Section 225 of the Nigerian Constitution. Joining us on the show to discuss the latest ruling by the Federal High Court is Liberos Oshoma, a lawyer. Good morning, Liberos, my brother. How are you doing today?
Thank you. I'm fine. I'm good. And good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Welcome back, Rufai.
Thank you, Olga.
Boris, let's go straight in. Whenever you come with that constitution, I know that we're in for something. So a number of matters arising. Let's even start first of all with this conversation around local standing and the the group that has brought this matter, this suit before the courts, the Federal High Court. then hierarchy of courts. The appeal court ruling on a stay on the matter, and the Justice Peter Lifu court going ahead to rule on this matter, directing INEC to deregister the parties, before we even get to the politics of it and who is behind, who is not behind. But the legal undertones, the legal questions that have come out, please, can you break it down for us today?
So let's start from, because a lot of people still don't understand the provisions of Section 225, Paragraph A. It's an amendment to the Constitution, actually. You remember sometimes, was it 2002 or 2003, INEC attempted to introduce new guidelines for registration, and Chief Gani Fayemi approached the court, and the Supreme Court unanimously held that aside the provisions for registration in the Constitution, that not even the National Assembly, via the Electoral Act, add just one more condition to it. And so the Supreme Court liberalized the conditions for registration of political parties because it wanted to deregister the NCP then. And so now they amended the Constitution to include this section. And what did the section say? Simply says, the INEC shall have power to deregister a political party for breach of any of the requirement for registration. One, that's requirement for registration. Failure to win at least 25% of votes cast in one state of the federation in a presidential election, or one local government of the state in a governorship election, or failure to win at least one ward in chairmanship election, one seat in the National State Assembly election, or one seat in the councillorship election. Just one of these conditions. The ADC, for example, we all know, won the House of Reps seats in the 2023 election. So that alone has fulfilled the requirement of Section 225A. That alone.
More than one House of Reps.
No, I'm just, without going into the State House of Assembly seats and the rest. And be that as it may, you remember after the election, INEC deregistered, in compliance with this section, INEC deregistered some political parties because that act is ordinarily supposed to be carried out after election. And now INEC has started another process. They have registered some other political parties. They have also conducted due diligence on some other parties because they had started another election cycle. So this is not the time to activate this section, because laws are not applied in vacuum. And then secondly, before I go to the issue of local standing and the rest, INEC on its own did depose to an affidavit in the matter in court, stating that the political parties have met the threshold stated in this section 225. And so if the section says INEC shall, and INEC is saying, no, these political parties have crossed this threshold. So you can't compel us to deregister them. So if you now begin to, so what was not the basis of the judge or the court going ahead against the instruction or the intendment of the agency that is empowered by the Constitution to so do? Then coming to the issue of locus, we all know it's elementary for every practicing lawyer. The moment you bring a public interest matter, the first question the court will ask you is, what injustice have you as a person, or will you suffer if this action is not done? This so-called nebulous association of former legislators, they have not shown in any way, injustice that they will suffer. They have also not shown any link to whether as members of political parties, as lawmakers who had made laws and that these laws are observed in breach, none whatsoever. And then coming to the third point, the matter came up before Justice Lifu, and there was an order of the Court of Appeal, I think May 23rd. And the Court of Appeal, May 22nd, the Court of Appeal did granted an application for stay of proceedings pending appeal. It is a notorious fact most times, even when the Court of Appeal is seized with a matter, once appeal is entered, most times the court of first instance usually distance themselves from going ahead with proceedings. And in some cases, they don't want to sit appeal over a matter that is already before a superior court. So against all of this backdrop, one would have expected that the court would restrain itself in going ahead to give an order. And another thing, I want to look at it also morally speaking, look from the moral prism. It's because whatever the court, is doing today, certainly the names and of the ruling party is going to be mentioned. And so that's where the party would have, forget the fact that the president said, I cannot be resolving crisis for opposition. That's where the party also would have, no matter what it is, whether there are people who are related to them or not, because I'm saying this because we heard the chief of staff to the president, that's the head of administration of the president's office, telling Honorable Abejide to go ahead, remain in the party, fight them, destroy them. So against that backdrop, the presumption that, look, certainly you're seeing the hand of some unknown persons, you're hearing the voice of unknown persons, but the hand of the APC, exactly, certainly would be high. Sorry, please. Considering also the fact that these people, the way they came into politics, the way they were registered in 1999, fact check me, AD, Alliance for Democracy, did not meet the threshold for registration in 1999. Because what was the threshold? In 1998, the provisions of the law was that temporary registration was given to about 9 political parties. And during the conduct of the local government election, the rule was that for you to gain full registration, you must win at least 24%, it was 10% in 24 states of the 36 states. AD only won 10% in 14 states, especially in the South. So it didn't make the spread. But the government of Abdul Salam felt, look, it would not, for political, expediency, it would not be nice to deregister a political party from the Southwest, considering the June 12 crisis. That was how they were registered. So now those people who told us they fought for democracy and government today, and democracy is crippling with a dagger, in its back.
History may not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. I want to go back to the issue of timing, because I'd love for you to educate us. When I went through, especially that section 225A, it's silent with regards to timing. So we know that convention, global best practice is that if parties are to be deregistered, it would be after an election. But the Constitution itself is silent on the issue. So can we say that the justice has erred in moving forward with this ruling during this time when the Constitution doesn't specifically state that there is a certain period where this activity is supposed to happen?
Before I answer that question, I will go back to the affidavit before the courts. The agency that is empowered to deregister had said, these parties have complied. We had carried out the registration process. These people are mere busybodies. This is gold digging. This is frivolous. And so these political parties have made a threshold. That alone should have, ended the matter there. And then if you go to section 225 itself, talks about finances, talks about annual returns to political parties. These actions are usually done after election. So the parties would file returns to INEC and INEC. So, and that's why if you now go to the addendum to section 225, which is section 225A, it shows also that these actions are actions that are usually carried out after election. And then also election, INEC, in compliance with section 77, also had received registration from this party register from these political parties, assuming without conceding that there is no timeline for doing this. Also, senators have decamped into this party. House of Rep members have decamped into this party. One of the parties has a sitting governor decamping into it. So, against all of that backdrop, now you cannot say because an action you did not take after the election, now that the party has members in political offices, you now say you want to activate retroactively that decision. So that is not the intent of the law.
I just want to ask, is it that the judge did not see that Abijide won in the ADC in 2023? Is it that? Because I can read out the parties that have been disenfranchised. I can read out AAC. I said AAC. AA won a seat.
Yes.
ADC won a couple of seats. In fact, ZLP won a couple of seats.
Yes.
You know, so virtually all the parties that were deregistered passed the threshold. Is it that the judge did not even see it at all? Then secondly, can we talk about judicial reforms? You see, because I don't want to mention names, but there are some judges in this country that if they give judgments, kai, you will wonder what's happening. But it is this judge that gets even promoted. Nothing happens to them.
Unfortunately, Rufai, you're absolutely correct. I was discussing with a colleague just yesterday, and the issue was, we talked about Justice Omotosho elevation to the Court of Appeal. And I can tell you that there are other judges from the same Ogun State who were called to bar before him, who were appointed judges before him, who got more nominations than him, but at the end of the day, he is elevated. So you now look, is it this elevation, is it based on merit, or is it based on what the Igbo people call man-madu, or man no man? And then you look at, when you hear some of these events on some case, and then now begin to wonder what is the rationale of giving a judge, especially the fact that, like I consistently maintain, INEC, all of these issues that you have raised, INEC deposed to an affidavit, a counter affidavit, and stated all of these issues succinctly. And then yet the court still went ahead to give its judgment. I'm not the judge now, but you will begin to wonder,
maybe we saw something that we didn't see. I think all of us are blind. Maybe I'm not sure. Maybe I'm not sure he won. I'm not sure the ADC won anything.
Okay. So because for the optics, you now begin to wonder, this is not good, not just for our democracy, but for the judiciary. Because today the world is a global village. We're talking about internet and online. Okay. With a click of the button, anybody anywhere in the world can read this judgment and what is happening.
Let's wait for the all right, we have to. Let's wait. We have to go. Thank you so much. This is definitely a contentious matter, and it would be subject to a lot of debates and analysis. And so this is just part of it. So, but thank you very much, Liberos. Thank you for breaking it down for us this morning.
That was he tell us last year. Say he asked Peter Obi for house rent money, saying a duplex in one rent. And Peter Obi will give him. So they start with flats. So you mean
he wanted money for a flat when he met Atiku. He talked to Atiku. Atiku was sweet, nice, told him he would do. Atiku still gave him money for a flat. So because why? Yeah, listen. And that's just so for you really to consider what is it that drives Kenneth. What brought trouble between him and us? Penny, money to rent a house.
Well, welcome to Updated Precious. Dr. Kat joins us in the studio. And here we'll bring on an update of all the things that happen. We will dissect this conversation and more. But make a quickly go just bar break. When I come back, we'll bring our guest and we'll begin to dissect the matter then one by fellow senators when they come back. Joining us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm happy to be here with you and your audience. Nothing has changed between 2023 and today. And I tell you, all the fundamentals that got the people to think about Peter Obi are still there. So Peter simply tells Nigerians, use me as your vehicle to build a new country. That's what we're saying. So these other people simply say, no, there should be no new Nigeria. That what Nigeria they have and the way they are playing it is okay. We say, no, it's not okay. And that's what we're doing. Me and you last year started talks about Kenneth Okonkwo, and I told you, as the leader of the spokespersons of Peter Obi, what happened? He had an issue, a private issue, and Peter tried to help. He was expecting more from Peter. He left and went to Atiku. Atiku helped him. Fine. The same thing Peter suggested was exactly what Atiku gave him. Now, for you to work with Peter.
Wait, you know, saying they speak in parables, you go good look talk in clear terms. So you've been talk say that what he tell us last year. Say he asked Peter Obi for house rent money. Say a duplex in one rent. And Peter Obi will give him. So they start with flats. So you mean
he wanted money for a flat when he met Atiku. He talked to Atiku. Atiku was sweet, nice, told him he would do. Atiku still gave him money for a flat. So, because why? Yeah, listen. And that's just so for you really to consider what is it that drives Kenneth. What brought trouble between him and us? Penny, money to rent a house. I don't tell Peter to pay me for house rent. Other people who work in the movement came in. People like Kenneth, because he is failure in the in the entertainment industry, he failed. That's why he came to meet us in the political space.
Yeah, he's a very good actor.
Kenneth Okonkwo is a failed entertainment entrepreneur. Everybody that I have in mind have made me successful. Those who didn't make it very big played very, very gently. That's how it is. Kenneth panicked, abandoned the entertainment industry, came to meet us in the political space. But Kenneth lacks depth. He doesn't have it. Nigeria runs a representative democracy. Kenneth from Enugu State. How can you come, an Igbo man, you want to work for a Fulani man, abusing the Igbo frontline candidate? What kind of human being are you? He doesn't understand. This is a hungry man. He is what Igbos call Onyagro, Ndenabuni. That's the problem. He didn't understand what we're doing. You don't come and start begging for house rent. Now he begged for it. That is what got us into this mess. If you must come and do politics, better have a secondary source of income. If you come and jump into the politics and you have no supporting base that sustains you, you will become as challenged as Kenneth Okonkwo is. This is the problem we have. Who told you I don't have problem? I have 5 children, and I pay university fees, and I've trained them all through university, and I do all these things. Yet, every day, I'm on national television, not losing my conscience, knowing very well, like, for example, during this period of national crisis, when we are occupied by the United States Army. It's a matter of narratives, as I told you. Everybody can tell lies. Now we are in politics at a time when our country is challenged. You want to become like Kenneth Okonkwo? You know, Kenneth thinks it's like movie industry, where they pay him money, give him a script, and he goes to act. No. Politics is based on an intellectual understanding of the discussions within the public space. And the discussion right now, when Kenneth came to meet us, is about equity. Equity. Atiku started this discussion about equity in 2013, forcing him to form the MPDP. Use that to build a coalition with ACN, led by Tinubu, CPC, led by Buhari, AMPP, led by Ogbom Neyono, and then a faction of Abga, led by Rochas. And they formed that coalition called the APC, progressing the APC to a national political party that is inclusive and accepting the diverse aspirations of its membership became an issue. Buhari could not do this. Buhari instead started playing a game of nepotism, which Tinubu continued, for which I condemn Tinubu for his embrace of nepotism. These are serious issues. Because of that issue of equity, Kenneth Okonkwo didn't understand. He just came in. His own is, give me money, I'll speak for you. I'm an actor. I have been successful in the entertainment. It's not true. Kenneth is a failed entertainment entrepreneur.
Sir, but a lot of people will say that, like somebody posted there, they said it's disappointing to hear that money for rent is the reason that Kenneth will abandon Peter Obi, and that it's hard to believe. People are
You
saying
are
that
saying this.
you have evidence.
See your words now. Your words are personal opinions. See, but it's a world where different people have different issues that can trigger them to fall. Could you imagine if Kenneth?
You know what make they talk say Peter Obi don't threaten, so he go sue. So, and if now not be true, you they talk now, for instance, or if there is no evidence to corroborate your allegation, Kenneth Okonkwo also threatens saying go sue you for 100 billion.
I told you that last year. Let Kenneth to sue me if the things I say are not true. Simple. I've said that we have started the period of suing. Okay, you understand? So let us play this game. I am saying it now, and I am telling Nigerians, urge Kenneth to sue me if I lie. That's all. We don't owe him nothing. He was not an original member of our movement.
If your papa are the best president, not you will tell us. Now we will tell you. Say your papa are the worst president.
So these two videos have been trending simultaneously everywhere. I'm seeing it on blogs, I'm seeing it on X, and a lot of people. And people are commending the MC and they don't know who the MC is. Maybe you are thinking that I'm going to say I'm the MC. Please, this is not true. I'm not just here to debunk you. I'm trying to tell you that there is no Nigerian entertainer. No Nigerian entertainer. No MC, no hype man, no musician in Nigeria that will be able to look straight to the eyes of the son of the president and utter those words you heard. That particular video, of course, happened various capturing Sheikh Tinubu's whatever he's doing. That audio is Idris Abdul Karim's audio when he visited the event center that was later shot by the Edo State government some months ago. Remember, as I talk to you now, Idris Abdul Karim has been settled. He has collected money. He's okay. If he says a lie, let him sue me. No problem. And then he's in his house. He just may likely go to the event and utter those words again. He did not about the son of the president. He may not have, because if he even had conviction when the state government invited him over, he would have said it wasn't important. Or when he even came and said he came to ask that the place would be reopened, he would not go around with the state government, come back and tell us that we are making noise online. So it never happened. And I'm saying this particularly because let's not begin to make all this feel good content and put it out there to create an impression that, oh, we are getting better. There's no healing anywhere yet. We are not getting any better. No Nigerian entertainer, as he starts today, in short, no Nigerian can look straight to the eyes of the president's son and utter these words. It's not possible. This same country, we are very hypocritical. Very compromising set of people. In this country where people go to City Boys movement to go and hear about what the government is doing. It's not in this same country. This same country where people, there are certain lounge in Nigeria. I've said that several in here. People go there, MCs, comedians, they go there to dobale so that they can be given small thing. And then they do not talk. How many persons have you seen? You see Sparrow in recent time, you see Tiwa Savage, a few others. Where are the entertainers, apart from a few of them, that can talk? Those ones that can talk, now probably they have also built a system from themselves. The growing ones, are you seeing them talk? How many of them? So don't deceive yourself. A while ago, due respect, and I'm making this just as reference, not to disrespect him, former governor of Edo State, Godwin Obaseki, came to my city for a meet and greet, and that is meet and greet tour. And then, of course, I was invited first as a guest. Later, I was invited to anchor the event. I said, well, as much as I have respect for him as a former governor and the fact that he was able to bring in some level of transformation whilst he was governor, I do not count myself as a core Obaseki supporter. And because the announcement was that he was meeting with his supporters, I'm not a supporter. I withdrew from the event. My friends that heard it, whether that's rumor, maybe you just talking, hey, no, go and collect the money. Go and collect the money. They will pay you.
Says, so you mean that now everywhere money they when they move to? And I'm not saying this to disrespect him or the organizers. I still, at least some of them they are alive, they can see this video. I still to say no. I should be able to stand my ground. Not be everywhere money they go they see you. We too like money. And this money now, we don't know what this how they do. 250, 300. I don't know how much that would have cost, but I'm sure my MC fee now for 500 pounds go up over the discuss. But then I said no. I should be able to stand to not be everywhere say you pay. So they can't just gather now. One people gather for somewhere say, hey, now MC they do. Somebody say, now my job now. As long as not my job. That's what we are in this country. No conviction, no value, no principle. Anywhere they call you, they go. No MC, no comedian, no entertainer, no musician in Nigeria go feel look straight in the eyes of. They go collect and they go Kahoot. When people they perform, people will do video today say, anger day tomorrow you go apply for. May election start. That's what I'm even doing this now. Go and write it down. All this what you are seeing doing videos now, they will be appearing everywhere as special guests of honors and all that. It's not the same people that come online and criticize this. Government is not doing that. The minister will invite them. The senator will invite them. I'm not saying you should be enemy with everybody. Mona, no, don't deceive yourself. Nigerian people, you are alone. Stop waiting for all these people to create. Even me. I can stand today now because I'm privileged. Maybe I built my life with principles. I can determine what I stand for. Not everybody can. I never know whether I will fall for bigger money, but I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best now to say, I've been offered. Money day ground on certain level. I say, no, don't worry, I'm okay. So don't use the video till they feel good. They see so much work ahead. Catch you another time.
The African Democratic Congress, ADC, has announced the former River State Governor Rotimi Amechi as a running mate to his presidential candidate, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, for the 2027 general elections. They said that the decision followed extensive consultations with party leaders, coalition partners, youth and women stakeholders, and representatives of all geopolitical zones. The national leadership of the ADC says this is the right way for the party and a winning formula that will get the party into the Aso Rock Villa. But there is a bad news, actually, for 5 political parties, with Justice Peter Lifu of the Federal High Court today ordering the deregistration of African Democratic Congress, ADC, and 4 other political parties over failure to meet the constitutional requirements for political parties in the country. In the judgment, Justice Lifu today ordered the INEC, Independent National Electoral Commission, to deregister the affected parties, having failed to secure 25% of the vote in the last general elections in compliance with the provisions of the law. The 5 political parties include the African Democratic Congress, ADC, Accord Party, Action Alliance, Action People's Party, APP, and ZLP, the Zenith Labour Party. Justice Lifu, who earlier dismissed all the multiple preliminary objections filed by the defendant, ordered INEC not to allow the parties to participate in the subsequent elections, including the 2027 general polls, having failed to meet the constitutional threshold. But we're getting some reactions from some of the political parties involved. The Kenneth Okonkwo-led Action Alliance has rejected the court judgment ordering the registration of the 5 political parties. In a statement signed by the chairman, the party says that the judgment is coming at a time when political mobilization and preparations for the 2027 elections are already active. According to him, while AA respects the judiciary and the rule of law, he believes the timing and effect of this judgment will raise serious questions about democratic inclusion and the integrity of the electoral process. Let's move the conversation forward and let us speak tonight to the national spokesperson of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, to get the official response of that party with respect to the judgment of Justice Lifu's court in Abuja today. I'm being joined by Malam Bolaji Abdullah, who is the National Publicity Secretary of the ADC. Many thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you very much, Joe.
Yeah. Good evening. First and foremost, let's confirm it's authentic, right, that Rotimi Amechi is the running mate to Atiku Abubakar?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is confirmed.
Yeah. And has he accepted that offer?
You should expect that a lot of conversation will have happened. So if there's going to be any chances that this kind of question will arise, we wouldn't announce. So the fact that we've gone ahead to announce officially as a party means that all questions have been answered.
Would there be any kind of formal presentation to the world, or this will suffice and you are moving forward?
No, there's going to be a big event to actually present our two candidates sooner rather than later.
Yeah, that's interesting though. But and your party thinks that pairing is a formidable one?
I mean, we believe so because let me say first and foremost that we believe that anybody that was running as aspirants on the platform of ADC, whether it's Atiku Abubakar or Rotimi Amechi or Muhammad Hayatuddin, will do far better than what President Bola Tinubu is doing. Now, having established that, we believe that the emergence of Atiku Abubakar and Rotimi Amechi as our presidential and vice presidential candidate actually gives us a formidable team that is immensely capable of winning this election. So, and we are not surprised with the kind of shenanigans that has cropping up the moment we announced Rotimi Amechi as our vice presidential candidate.
So, in the real sense of it, and I'm wondering what Babachi Lawa will be thinking now, because he has written off your party. He said, with Atiku Abubakar as your candidate, the party is headed for a disaster.
Well, you will notice that the party has refrained from joining issues with Babachi Lawa, and personally, I have a lot of respect for him. But I think the issues he was raising and what he was saying actually says more about the historical animosity that he has against our presidential candidate, rather than the primaries of the African Democratic Congress as an exercise, or our political party as the African itself. So, I mean, I wouldn't put too much credence to that. I mean, we felt that it was a local issue that they had. I mean, they are from the same Adamawa state, you know. So we are very proud of the exercise that we have conducted, and we're very proud of the fact that we are the only political party in Nigeria who actually conducted real primaries to produce our presidential candidate.
And so you are not yielding to the warnings, because he's warning vehemently.
He's free to say whatever he wants to say. I mean, people can advise you based on where they are standing, but it doesn't mean that you are obliged to listen to them or pay attention to what they are saying, with due respect.
Let's go to the matter, the substantive matter of this evening. How does this come to the ADC? Officially speaking, how is your party reacting to it?
Honestly, I must say that we are a bit surprised. And what surprised us is that we know the judiciary as an institution has problems. And we know that the Nigerian people more or less believe that there is a problem with the judiciary. But what we did not expect, and this is where the surprise comes in, what we did not expect is the level of judicial rascality that was demonstrated today. Because when a court of appeal say stay process until October 27, then the same matter on which the court of appeal say you should stay process, and you are aware that the court of appeal say you should stay process, then you went ahead and made and delivered judgment on the same matter. I mean, I would have said it's ridiculous, but it is actually bizarre and dangerous. But what is clear is that the judge, the presiding judge, was not just practicing law or dispensing justice. He was acting a script that was written for him by the agents of the ruling party and the APC and the government of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I mean, we've repeatedly maintained that what the ruling party wants is a situation where by the time we arrive in 2027, President Bola Tinubu is the only one who is able to contest election, and every other person will have been eliminated. This is the clearest manifestation of that agenda, which is unfortunate. So what we are saying is we reject it in its totality, and we say that the people behind this are playing with fire. Because what they are playing at is to generate the kind of crisis that Nigeria has not seen in a long time. And why do I say that? Hundreds of people have obtained and on the platform of the African Democratic Congress. So what do you expect? That they will this kind of product?
When you say they're playing with fire, that sounds like a threat.
I mean, if you read it as
who is this directed to?
If you read it as a threat, I mean, maybe you are correct, but it's a warning more than any other thing, right? You will expect that these people who are busy demonstrating or celebrating democracy, June 12, will not be busy creating their own justice in 2026. I mean, what ranking hypocrisy, that you will on one side just a few days ago saying that you are celebrating democracy, and a few days later you are actually engineering a process that will truncate democracy, because what they are doing is capable of truncating democracy. But we are saying that no matter what they do, ADC will contest the 2027 election. As long as there will be election in 2027, ADC will contest. Because this is illegal.
Yeah. So who are you directing this at the judiciary? Who do you think? And you are inferring as though that some people who are behind this.
No, it's not a question of inference, Shil. The person, the individual who is championing this works in the office of the chief of staff to the president.
Really?
Yeah, of course, everyone knows that.
Who is the person?
Oh, I can't remember his name. He's from Southeast. I can't remember his name. He was a former member of the House of Representatives.
So you found out that he's
No, his name is there. They are not hiding, right? That is one. Two, in that matter, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice was the second defendant. A few days ago, he emerged as a plaintiff. What absurdity. In a case that you are a defendant, then suddenly you woke up. Then the question that we're asking is, what is the injury that these individuals who call themselves former legislative forum, what injuries will they suffer if ADC and these other parties contest election in 2027? Apart from, of course, maybe the breakfast they are enjoying will come to an end. But the most important thing we are saying is that I've been advised by lawyers that if there are no injuries, there will be no redress. So on what basis is Justice Lifu awarding them this? And especially when it is clear, what the constitutional provision is very clear about what minimum standards you expect the political parties to meet to be able to contest election. And in addition to that, you will recall that INEC itself sent an affidavit, to the same Federal High Court saying the African Democratic Congress has met all constitutional requirements for registration. The African Democratic Congress has met all electoral requirements for registration. So on what basis are they taking this decision, other than the fact that they want to eliminate all possible contenders against President Bola Tinubu in 2027? But it will not work.
You look at it, legally speaking, there are those who will say ADC is dead.
How? Dead how?
I mean, because if the registration order goes forward and there are substantive, direct, and implication to what the court said today, do not allow them participate in the next election.
Have you read the requirement?
For
because 225A of the Constitution of Nigeria, 1999.
It said you did not meet 25%, according to the court order, because that is the order of court. If you are going to appeal it, yet, but let's look at the substance in the matter.
We will appeal it. But what we are saying is that, looking at what the Constitution says, and I have it in front of me, ADC is on solid ground. And it's on that basis that the INEC says ADC is not involved, it cannot be deregistered on the basis of whether constitutional requirement or in the basis of electoral performance requirement. So where is the judge pulling this out from? But this is a judge that has a reputation, I mean, with due respect. So what is very clear, that it is more of a political agenda than justice being served. So, and that's why we are saying that it will not stand. Nigeria, we are not a conquered people, and this is democracy. This is not some banana republic. So President has been Nigeria before President Bola Tinubu, and there will be Nigeria after him. So ADC will contest 2027 election.
But the argument right here, have you been able to introspect? What was the performance of your party in the last election? Because this is what the court is contending.
No.
Do you have facts to counter the court's position to say you truly, because you are not the only one that is going to be affected.
Yes.
Your party is not the only party. Did you meet the 25% threshold as required or as stated by the court?
That's what I was.
Do you have? Can you list
what I was telling you?
Yeah. Can you list?
And I expect if it's possible for you to put this on the screen for Nigerians to see. It's talked about the 25%, right? 25% threshold. He now said now let me read it to you. He said breach of any of the requirements for registration. He said the independent commissioner shall have power to deregister a political party for breach of any of the requirements for registration. That is A. B, he now said failure to win at least 25% of votes cast in one state of the federation in a presidential election or one local government of the state in a governorship election. That is an or. He now said failure to win at least one ward in chairmanship election, one seat in the National or State House of Assembly election, or one seat in the councilorship election. If you are able to meet only one of this, then you have met the electoral requirement. That is very clear because it is disjunctive, right? If you meet any of this, you've met. And ADC has at least 2 members of the House of Representatives. If you don't know anyone, you know a Bejide that just left for APC. ADC still has the certificate of returns. The fact that he has led the party does not mean that ADC did not win the election in the last election. So the whole of this doesn't make sense. But that shows you the extent that people are going to manipulate the law to achieve political ends, and which is tragic.
Because you, and I know legally speaking, you will push to appeal this matter for the court to upturn it.
Exactly.
But isn't these a spanner in the works for you? Doesn't these now hold you back? Because legally speaking, you are not inexistent in the eye of the law. And by the virtue of this judgment, what INEC could do is to go ahead and remove your name from the list.
That is not true.
And that is based on this.
Yes.
Except if you appeal. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
We
legally
appeal.
speaking, when a court makes a decision and makes an order, a judgment of court, it stands until it is upturned by an appellate court. Yeah, until by an appellate court.
Yes.
Now,
but what you are ignoring is the fact that there is a call of appeal order that says don't hear this case
until October
27. So on what basis you cannot place illegality on you can't place this on anything? So you are a lawyer, you should know that.
You think Justice Lifu's court is playing games with you because you are saying that
he is running in contempt of the court. Justice Lifu should be arrested because he's acting in contempt of the court, which is a criminal act. Because the Court of Appeal says, don't act on this until I hear it on October 27. So on what basis did he deliver the judgment? So for us in the African Democratic Congress, what we are convinced that they know that what they have done has no leg to stand on legally. But what they want to do is to create doubts in the mind of the people. Oh, this ADC has too many legal cases. Oh, can we actually run on this? And to distract us. But we are not distracted. We are very clear. It was in spite of all that they have done since ADC come on board that we ran one of the best and the most comprehensive direct primaries in the history of democracy in Nigeria. So we know how to, we have been birthed in adversity. We are strong enough to withstand this. And that's why I'm saying we are going to contest the 2027. We are ADC. We don't buckle. We don't buckle before dictatorship.
If there are chances of ADC winning this election, don't they think that these has lessened or weakened that opportunity or possibility?
No, not at all. Because the people who are supporting it, I was watching a TV program some days ago, and one of the analysts don't know what ADC is doing. In spite of all these legal issues, many people are still. More people have been in our party since INEC took the last election. I have people to say, hang on, why is this government so morbidly afraid of the African Democratic Congress? Why are they trying by all means to stop the African Democratic Congress? It can only go one way for us.
What would would ADC accept if, for example, the Supreme Court, at the end of the day, which is the last court on this kind of madness, in the land, if they uphold the decision?
This is not the first time I'm appearing on this program. I will
you should have a plan.
Why should I tell you?
You should have a plan.
I don't want to tell you.
Or you don't have a plan.
I don't want to tell you.
Because
you see, when INEC deregistered David Mark, I was here. I said, oh, what's your plan? You don't have, and we will come out stronger at the end of the day. We are fighting for the very soul of democracy in Nigeria. You see, when President Bola Tinubu sent soldiers to go and help the president of Benin Republic to restore him to power, people said, oh, President Tinubu is a patron or godfather. No, I said no. President Tinubu is actually the student of the president of the Republic, because everything that he did in his country is what President Tinubu is trying to do in Nigeria. But Nigerians will show him that this is not Benin Republic. This is the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Then those who say, okay, if the law is very clear on this matter, why should ADC receive any special treatment? Are you saying that all of the political parties involved or ADC's case is clear?
And I can only speak for the African Democratic Congress. I cannot speak for their political parties. And what I'm saying is that I'm anchoring I'm anchoring the position of the ADC on the fact that the Constitution confers the power to register and deregister only on INEC. And INEC has come out to depose to an affidavit to say African Democratic Congress does not fall in the categories of parties that will be deregistered, either for not meeting constitutional requirements or for not meeting electoral requirements. What more is there to say?
So the ultimate implication of this is that ADC may not be on the ballot if this is allowed to stand.
ADC will be on the ballot.
No, I'm saying. I'm
not talking about whether
you're talking about faith and what you believe. I'm saying, legally speaking, if this stands, that means that ADC and his aspirants or candidates will not be on the ballot.
It will not stand. I can assure you it will not stand. ADC will be on the ballot. If there's going to be election in 2027, ADC will contest election in 2027 in this country.
Give me a moment. There's a breaking news right here on Channels Television. Troops, the Nigerian military, have rescued the widow of late Major General Rabi Abubakar. Troops of the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade have rescued Mrs. Abubakar, the widow of the late Major General Rabi Abubakar, who was abducted by bandits shortly before the retired senior military officer died in captivity. Military sources are telling Channels Television that the rescue operation took place in Tunga village, where troops made contact with the armed bandits. During the encounter, the kidnappers reportedly shot Mrs. Abubakar before fleeing the scene under pressure from advancing soldiers. Troops immediately secured the areas, rescued her, and administered emergency force aid. The military says Mrs. Abubakar sustained gunshot injuries and was bleeding at the time of the rescue, but is now receiving medical attention. The development comes just days after the burial of the late Major General Rabi Abubakar, whose death in captivity sparked national outrage and renewed concerns over insecurity across parts of the country. Breaking news right here on Channels Television. Widow of late Major General Rabi Abubakar, who died in captivity after being abducted by bandits, himself and the wife. The widow has now been rescued by troops of the Nigerian Army's 17th Brigade. That's much we know about this matter. All right, let's also look at what this means going into 2027. Does this give you a signal? If your party, Atiku Abubakar, Rotimi Amaechi, are on the ballot, does it give you a signal of how intense this race could be?
Well, it could be, but I think the story you just read now is actually disheartening, and it relegates every other thing, you know, because the husband died in captivity, and then the wife is shot. I pray for her that she recovers by the grace of Almighty Allah, and may God grant her husband Al-Jannah. So this is the kind of situation we are talking about. You see, if we are talking about rescuing the country. Today, Nigeria is in captivity. And this is why when military generals continue to die in kidnappers' den, I mean, what else is there to say? So if you say on the basis of this, the election in 2027 will be fierce, I will agree with you to be fierce, because the people who are holding on to power will not want to give up. But Nigerians are determined that enough of this bloodshed.
Nigeria today, our land is flowing with blood. Innocent people are being killed, and the children in Oyo State are still in captivity. And what you see is that these people in government, they don't care. They don't care. I mean, I was watching the video of the first lady sharing cars to women and celebrate. So you ask yourself, who are these people? Who are these people? Do they know what Nigerians are going through? Or do they think that we are a conquered people? We have no choice. Once you truncate the African Democratic Congress, you deregister all the Accord Party, you discarded whatever, then and you are the only man standing, then you ride into power in 20. No, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen because what we are fighting for is the very soul of Nigeria.
Mr. Abdullahi, on a final note, what would be your immediate action on this matter?
No, we'll go to court. We'll go to court to
that's what they want.
Rascality.
That's what they want. When they say go to court.
No, we will go to court. You see, we have an abiding confidence in judiciary as an institution, regardless of the behavior of some judges who just do whatever they like for whatever reason. And we will escalate it all over the world. And we will fight for this. And we'll make sure that it is done. We will do whatever it will take within the boundaries of the law to make sure that this rascality does not stand.
Thanks so much indeed, Mr. Bolaji Abdullahi, for your time tonight. And I wish you and your party not the best of time to run a party, preparing for election, going to court, battling all of these crimes.
But we are not distracted. We are used to it. The good thing is we started with it. So this is just another one. We have perfected the art of moving on while we deal with this. So it's not a distraction for the ADC.
Well, it is only sad that when this was going on, the wife of the kidnapped general was rescued by the Nigerian military. But the question here is, the husband's body was transferred to the military, and those kidnappers still went away without any gun battle exchange between them and the Nigerian military. Now the wife was rescued with a gunshot. It just shows the level of evil that is plaguing the country, and only if Nigeria understand that things are getting more destroyed by the day. Tinubu has no way or plan to honestly end insecurity in Nigeria. But we'll continue to watch and see how this whole thing plays out, because the 46 children kidnapped are still in the kidnappers' den, and Nigerians are suffering. Hopefully, things get better, and then Nigeria becomes a better place for everybody. But things are not looking good. The optics is not good. But we'll see how everything plays out. Ours is to continue to watch and to look at how things continue to unfold in the country. So Nigerians, let's keep watching and let's see how things get better.
Now, the Obedient Movement, the grassroots political support base linked to former presidential candidate Peter Obi, has recently faced growing public debate over alleged internal divisions and emerging factions within its structure. Some reports and statements from figures within the movement suggest disagreements over leadership, direction, and political strategy ahead of the 2027 election cycle. A faction led by certain coordinators has accused part of the leadership of disconnecting from grassroots supporters, while others insist the movement remains united and issue-driven rather than party-controlled. The group's national coordinator, Yunusa Tanko, has maintained that the movement continues to focus on accountability and electoral reform, rejecting claims of formal splits or competing leadership structures. Political observers say the tension reflects broader challenges in sustaining a large, decentralized civic movement that gained national momentum during the 2023 elections, especially as attention shifts towards 2027 political alignments.
Monday CRM is so intuitive, I think it just read my mind.
All right, well, joining the program this morning is Dr. Yunusa Tanko, National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement and former spokesperson for Peter Obi's 2023 presidential campaign. Of course, he's played a central role in coordinating grassroots mobilization and public engagement within the movement, which grew into one of Nigeria's most prominent youth-driven political blocs during the last election cycle. Mr. Tanko, good morning. Welcome to Daybreak.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for having me.
All right, well, let's get straight into it. You're here for a right of reply. As Mr. Ikena Azomchine, the Obedient General, leveled a number of allegations against the Obedient Movement here on Arise News on a different program on the weekend. Amongst those allegations are those allegations of factions within the Obedient Movement. He says Obedients are ready to work with the president to educate young Nigerians following a meeting with the president's son, Sheyi Tinubu, and that the Obedient Movement is ready to focus on ensuring Tinubu comes back into power and educating Nigerians on how Tinubu is a good choice for them. Your response to these?
Thank you very much. Quickly, before I respond to what Mr. Azomchine said, I'd like to join many Nigerians in condemning the act of the deregistration of the 5 political parties using ADC and Zenith Labour Party as a point of contact. Quite honestly, it is a wrong timing. Many people have already bought forms. People are ready to mobilize themselves, and yet you deregister a political party just barely 5 months close to an election. I think it's a deliberate act in order to put the democratic system into jeopardy. An injury to one is an injury to all, even though we managed to escape that particular situation. But that doesn't mean we should applaud it. So I urge all Nigerians to condemn this and then probably put our democracy in prayer and ensure that things are done rightly. Now, I'm here to respond to like 3 things majorly. Number one, the issue where we've been mentioned that there's a crack in the Obedient Movement. It's a major crack. Then secondly, the issue of financing and the organic nature of the Obedient Movement. Let me start by saying that the Obedient Movement is organic in nature, strongly so, and that everything that we do is self-sacrifice. We align ourselves strongly with the ideals and principles of His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, who have shown dynamism in shifting and emphasizing on money-driven political system. We emphasize money, not that because it doesn't matter, but because it has been used to cause a lot of damage up to today to the Nigerian people. And that is the reason why I'm sure a lot of thousands of Nigeria has replied Mr. Azomchine on his own assumptions and what he said. And that is the simple fact to tell you the way in which the organic nature of the Obedient Movement is. Even myself, as I sit to you here, I've been asked to account for every of my action. And that is the beauty of the Obedient Movement, which has never been seen anywhere in the world. So secondly, with the issue of crack, as we stand today, the Obedient Movement before September 2024, when I took over leadership, the Obedient Movement is amorphous. It doesn't have an organization, a structured organization. But today we made bold to say that we have 37 states, all leadership of the Obedient Movement intact. We have close to about 43 persons at the National Executive Council. Apart from that, we have close to about 1.something million still counting people joining us. And we continue to have people in every local government. It's a movement. People come in and go. Probably sometimes when they feel that probably certain things didn't go their assumed way. We have a case in study of Mr. Morris. Yes, I have to mention Mr. Morris because Morris Moynihan, because recently he himself left, made pronouncement, but I was shocked when I see him with His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi and then recounting and apologizing to the obedient movement. That is to show you the kind of nature of Mr. Peter Obi. His Excellency is the kind of person that does not accuse anybody, does not insult anybody, but he uses moral suasion, which is his strength, because it's somebody that tells you that money is not the issue. Come together, work together as a team so that you can achieve that particular collective goal, and it works for him. If he tells you the story of how his vehicle was shifted out of the present place where when he was a governor, one would have thought that thunder and storm would have appeared. But he said, yes, people were wrong. And then the people that were accusing him ended up becoming his friends. So this is the case. So don't be surprised that tomorrow you may see Mr. Azontini still recounting his steps and coming back to the fold. At least we have seen Kenneth Okonkwo now withdrawing his statement as regard to whether he's supporting His Excellency Atiku Abubakar or not. This is the dynamism of the obedient movement.
All right. So now how do you then respond to these claims that there's a leadership grassroots disconnect?
There is no, that's why I just give you a simple analogy of our people. You can meet them even right now as we speak. If I have my phone, I can call people for you. Yes, we have issues, but we don't come into the television and start discussing our issue. We deal with our issue internally. But that is to tell you that the strength of the obedient movement is in terms of the connection. Because like I told you right now, people are there watching me, and they will ask me to account for ABC. So if I'm not connected, or if Mr. Peter Obi is not connected to that particular people, how? There's the only person today as a leader of the obedient movement is His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, has been the only person that has always been accountable to the people. Everybody can ask him questions and he will answer. He attends Twitter space and all. I challenge any other presidential candidate to do something similar. None. So you see, there is a huge connection. And I say, with all due respect, before I leave here, you will see a lot of people still asking me questions as regard to how I've been able to answer questions right where I'm seated. That is the kind of leadership we are looking for in this country. We don't have such. That's why many people run away from attending programs of this nature. I had to come here because my name was mentioned, and then to account and defend the interests of the obedient movement, which is very much intact, no single crack. And I'm happy that he said there is no faction. It's not that I don't know how the media started giving me the faction. He said there's no faction.
I can help anyone, no matter their experience level, to build.
Thank you.
Okay. Oh, okay. You know, a big part of this is financial accountability. And I feel that we haven't really heard a conclusive statement when it comes to financial accountability from the 2023 election, where we heard stories about polling agents that were not paid, and it seems that the books were not well audited and reconciled. Where are we with that? Have you reconciled your books from 2023? Where did the money go missing? Because those stories kind of just dissipated from the conversation. And I think obedience, because most obedience will say they contributed something, even if it was 1,000 naira, all obedience, as you've already alluded to, came together to put the little they could together. So where is the final accountability for those, sort of crowd funding?
I have not seen any group that come to account for expenditure of the campaign. The only person that had done that is Mr. Peter Obi. I was there because I was there when Aisha Yusuf, His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, employed the services of an auditor, independent auditor, who came in. We were at John Wood's hotel, and then they addressed the world project. You can see it is there. Your people were there, and they accounted for every single kobo. I still want to see where APC accounted for theirs or PDP accounted for theirs. So he's the only person, because he was careful about the accountability that people he has been touting about. So he made sure that those accounts were rendered to the public, and with the independent public, and I think it's a public document, it's assessed by anybody. So the issue of—
So why is it that some polling agents were not paid?
Good. When you say polling agents were not paid, you only pay people when they give you results of your action. If you feel you have performed your duty till today, you can present your result and then it will be paid. So if anybody is claiming that certain thing was not paid, because I am aware that a lot of people were saying that the agent fee was not paid. You see, we were used to a contemporary way of politics, which Mr. Peter Obi will not join in. People usually give parties money, whether the judge was or not. So people will use manipulation. Some will even take family and friends as agents, and at the end of it, you will not even see the result. Remember that we are having issues as regards to some of the polling agents that we were not able to cover at a particular point in time because those persons were not there, and we are trying to make sure that that situation does not happen today because he is very careful. Peter Obi will not go give money for you to go to partying and enjoying yourself without doing work. No, he wants accountability. And when there's accountability, there's transparency. So as far as we are concerned, every kobo that needs to be paid has been paid. And if there's any that somebody has done work that he has not been paid and he has have a proof of the work he has done, it will be looked into.
All right, now speaking on the part of accountability, what message do you have for concerned supporters with all of this new information that's coming out now, this right of reply, talk of possibly being a faction or no faction?
There was nothing like this. I'm OBED. Nobody come out and say, I'm this, that. Because at that point in time, the process was on. Nobody was accusing anybody. But today, it is time for politics. Election is nearly about 5 months plus. So it's normal you see the gimmick of the government in power trying to infuse idea and create cracks and diverting the attention from accountability of regard to millions of dollars have been collected unaccounted for. The people are still hungry. Hunger is in the land. There is insecurity. So it's to divert attention and create kind of, hawks somewhere, and so people will be contesting. Today, the obedient movement remains the most challenging political movement that is disturbing this particular government. There's no doubt about it. It's not about Tanko. It's not about His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. It's about the Nigerian people. We are also being asked to account. So you see, in that regard, it becomes a scarecrow to those who are in power to say, how do we bring these people down? But of course, we are impregnable because we are everywhere. I used to say that we are everywhere. When they say that we are everywhere, we can vote for. No, when we say we are everywhere, and I meant it because I've always been saying it, we are everywhere, but the target is His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi.
Instead of telling you about how amazing Toonbi really is,
Okay. We started this conversation with your contribution on what is the biggest story, the biggest political story of the day, which is the ruling that seeks to deregister a number of political parties. Now, some people might say that, well, they would have expected you to be jubilant because this takes out some of your key opponents. Potentially, if it stands, once Atiku Abubakar, who the narrative says you ran away from ADC because of Atiku Abubakar. So if he's not on the ballot, I would have expected that you would be celebrating.
Okay, you see, that is where
Don't you think that this ruling favors a Peter Obi candidacy?
What makes you feel that probably we wouldn't have been on that particular threshold of this registered political party? We could have been. But the truth about it is that an opposition is an opposition. We needed more. We don't need to celebrate the downfall. And that's where His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi is distinctly different. You have never seen him jubilating about the downfall of any other person, but he speaks to the issues. And that is the kind of politics that we need.
Okay, but it favors you.
It's not about favor. It's not about favor, because when you say favor me or favor us, that means that probably we are jubilating and celebrating that we have eliminated our we need everybody to come together and work as a team. We need everybody. Everybody knows the situation in this country at the moment now. So it's not about a particular political party. And that reminds me of the NDC, the Nigerian Democratic Congress. And I'm glad that we have people who at least have their head on their neck. Imagine if we did not have the NDC as an option for us to run as a political party. We would have been deregistered and there wouldn't have been any contest whatsoever. So we are grateful and we want everybody to know this. Look, ladies and gentlemen, we need to save a country. A country is in dire need of every one of us. Yes, we need the social media to do a gathering point and all, but the work is actually won at every of your polling unit. So everybody that talks, everybody that tweets, everybody that Facebook, everybody that Instagram, please, this is the time to go back to your ward and your polling unit. Go and build cells, build the group, get connected to the people, and then let's cast this vote and win this election. That is the most important thing. Let's fix our eyes on the ball. The target actually was to deny Mr. Peter Obi an opportunity to run for election, to make sure that he's not on the ballot box or ballot paper. So everybody that is agreeing with what's going on, NDC, please, it is him. If it's not him at the moment now, all of us will fall down the way. So let's give our energy. I know some people will say maybe there's selfishness. No, there's no selfishness. The target is to ensure that the leader person become the presidential candidate of the NDC. Thank God we had an opportunity with His Excellency Suraka Dixon leading the pack. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get to work and we have a president to make.
All right, you speak about keeping the eye on the ball and staying focused and being targeted, but what exactly would you say is your biggest challenge ahead of the 2027 elections?
Well, my biggest challenge will be some of the Nigerian people that are yet to see that the country needs help. I'm talking to intellectuals. I'm talking to some young men. I'm talking to the women that have been mobilized and been given stipends of money just to change their views. As of today, there's going to be trillions of nairas being shifted out of this country. And you know that that does not bring food to your table. It may bring it for a short period of time, but the longer period of time, you will continue to wallow in poverty. Change that psyche. Reject the money. Move into the people. Support this particular movement. It's a collective movement for every one of us. We are only guiding for a period of time. Another person may take over in the no distant time. It may happen. But then the eye on the ball. Nigeria needs to be saved, and we are all involved. So don't deviate from the ball. Let's get into action.
All right, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, our time is up, but just in one sentence before we go, should NDC absorb ADC members, Accord members, Zenith Party members? Should NDC absorb them?
We need everybody. In fact, that reminds me, His Excellency usually say that we know we can't do this alone. This is an opportunity. I'm using it to plead to everybody. You have been insulted, you have been deregistered, but you should also know that you have a country that you need to protect. So we will, of course, encourage the NDC to take everybody on board. They could have everywhere they could serve and help this country. The country needs help. And urgently too.
Okay. All right, well, on that note, thank you so much for your contributions this morning, Dr. Yunusa Tanko, National Coordinator of the Obedient Movement. We continue to keep track of all of the political developments. The 2027 election is upon us. That's all we have time for here on Daybreak. I'm Vimbai Mutiniri.
Thank you.
It's goodbye from me.
And I'm Yolanda Roberts. Have a fantastic day.
Well, that is Yunusa Tanko's just spoke there about the Obedient Movement, and then Mr. Peter Obi. Also, there was I think there was a one-on-one interview between Mr. Peter Obi and then Rufai of Arise News. We'll just watch, maybe just play a few of that interview, and then maybe later on we can come back and see the whole of that interview later. Let me just bring that over here. Interview between Mr. Peter Obi and then Rufai of Arise News. I think that was done on Network of Original African Narrative. Let's just let's see a few of that, and then maybe later on we can probably have everything in a different broadcast. Um, is an interview between Mr. Peter Gregory and then Rufai of Arise News, but I think this was done on a different platform. Let me bring that here.
Welcome to yet another interesting conversation here on the Nevon Network. And today on the conversation, we're having one with the presidential candidate of the NDC, the presidential candidate of the NDC. Peter Obi is right here with us, former governor of Anambra State. Great to have you, Mr. Peter Obi, right here with us on the platform.
Thank you. You know, this has been a very, very long
interview coming.
Let me apologize that all this while we kept changing the date, the time, the days. This period has been very difficult for me, very painful, trying to just adjust this or that and everything. But thank you that we finally were able to come together to talk.
Thank you so much. So, guys, like I said before, this interview is going to be an eye-opening session, and we're going to hear from the presidential candidate of the NDC. My first question to you will be this deregistration that happened. What's your take about this deregistration that has happened? Because some people are saying NDC, there are also cases against NDC in courts. Can they be next?
Well, for me, it's very unfortunate. And you see me condemn it in all ramifications. I believe that it is a time our judiciary help our democracy. It shouldn't be. That's all I can say. They should allow parties, no matter the number, to be able to present their candidates for election and for the independent electoral commission to conduct the election and ensure that the election is free and fair. We might in the future put up other regulations that can make our elections to be more organized. There's countries where you can't participate in presidential election unless you've been part of a previous election and received at least 25% of the vote cast. That's what it is in Indonesia. Or 3/4 of the Senate, or what they call their own assembly, sign for you, endorsement for you to contest. So we might put other things, but for now we don't have, because our own democracy is not operating the way others do. We can only rely now to have a free, credible election to be able to elect a competent government that will look at the future of our democracy.
Okay. I'd like to ask you, infighting in your political party, some people feel disgruntled. One of your lieutenant, Aisha Yusuf, feel disgruntled. Seraka Diskin has come out to say that nobody's doing anybody a favor. What's happening in your political party? In fact, there were allegations that came out recently that Kenneth Okonkwo made that made you take him to court for 5 billion as regards monies exchanging hands in your political party. People are saying the NDC is not different from the APC you are castigating, and you are saying you are the ones that will change the order of things for democracy?
Let me assure you that whatever you think is in fighting our party is nothing compared of what you see in other parties, and there's no issue. It's an issue when you have an organization. There's at times some disagreements or minor issues which we've been talked over, been resolved, and everything, and that's it. The issue of taking Kenneth Okonkwo to court wouldn't have been there if only Kenneth stopped at even allegation. But he said he has a lot that he will talk in the future.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that when I said, I'm taking it to court, he said, now that he's been taken to court, that he will now be able to disclose or bring in the open all those things he wanted to keep behind. I think Rufai, as a leader, this is time to scrutinize, avail ourselves for scrutiny by the public, so people can hear all the bad things about us, because it is important that our future leaders must be who they say they are, in terms of character, in terms of integrity, in terms of competence, in terms of qualification, in terms of everything. So once he said that, I said, wait a minute, we must go further. So they can help. Because some of the things we're seeing today that the young ones are doing are examples they've learned from our leaders. So this is time to ensure that those who are coming to lead us must be people of character.
So you want Kenneth to go and expose you. That's why you're
everything. No, don't,
because he threatened that it's not a good thing.
Not just Kenneth. Yeah. Everybody should not say those things they know that is bad about me or I did that is wrong, because it's good for the system. It's good for the society. So if you know that when we were in primary school, this man was cheating or didn't go to the primary school, didn't go to secondary school, didn't do, if you know this man had done something criminal somewhere, this is time to bring it up. We must not allow the next set of our leaders to have a record that is doubtful.
Okay. Arabambi, I don't know if you might know him, he was with you in the Labour Party.
Yes.
He said that you took a lot of the monies between you and yourself and Aisha Yusufu, the Labour Party donations, that you people monopolized the Labour Party donations. What's your take on that? Are you also ready? Because he also said he has some things against you, and he has, things that...
Well, we cannot go by people talking nonsensical, and listen to them. He said that he took from Labour Party account 10 billion naira, $13 million. You see, he mentioned an account. So where is the account? You can't just go and listen to people who are walking on the street and talking. We will be wasting everybody's time. I want to see, in his own case, I consider it just, I don't know how to describe it. But then, maybe I'm going to include him very soon on people who I want them to come and prove.
So you will sue Arabambi too?
He's a faceless person with that address.
Okay, so it's difficult to sue faceless people.
Yes, and if you are you going to be, people are just moving around, Can you invite him and invite me? Can you are an investigative journalist. If Arabambi can show you an evidence of an account where he can allege that 1% of what he said is missing, I'll stop campaigning.
You stop campaigning?
1%.
Okay.
If he can show you an account where there's a missing $130,000 and 130 million naira,
you stop campaigning. Okay. A lot of people are also, because these are some of the things they say, a lot of people are also talking about your time as governor. They said that was how you also owned an account offshore abroad, Panama Papers released and things like that. And they are saying that you've not been held accountable also for that. I know you've given explanations in the past, but they're also bringing that issue up, election period.
They shouldn't bring it up. Everything that concerns me was properly declared. And when that came out in the paper, there was so many things were alleged. I would say the authorities investigated it, and it's very straightforward. Rufai, in this country today living, I am the only person who can claim, I don't know any other one, that when I finished being governor, the day I left office, 17th of March, 2014, that Rufai, the government which I served on, was not owing any salary to anybody that is due to receive his salary from government. Any pension or gratuity, no contractor who has executed his job will say he's being owed. No contractor who have supplied will say he's being owed. And the month I left, while I left 17th, I provided enough money to pay salary of that month, pension, gratuity for that month, and left in covers of Anambra State government $150 million. Left 36 billion naira, and about the same amount in investment the day I left. All these things people are saying, oh, he took money. Have you ever seen any thief who have left what he can steal, even in church? When you go to church, they say, mind your phone. I left $150 million. Nobody asked me to save in dollars, though. I saved money for Anambra State in dollars. Save money for them in naira. If the dollars are left is still there today, Anambra State would have been sitting on over $300 and something million. Dollars. Nobody asked me. I did it myself. And I left it there. So how can I leave it there and be running around with all these small people and taking 10 million naira here, taking 1 million naira here? No, it's not necessary.
Okay. Another question I would like to ask you. A lot of people have said you are always chickening out of problems. That's why you left the ADC. That you are not ready to be able to face a candidate like Atiku in a party primary. That after coming together with them, you chickened out and you walked away. And the same thing too, you couldn't harmonize Labour Party. What's your reaction to all of that?
They are very right. When people put fire in your house, you don't stay.
Who put fire in your house?
No, I don't know. You know what the government of today is doing. They should actually thank me for being able to anticipate the problems of tomorrow and going away from it. They can't say I walk away from problem. Rufai, when I became governor, Go and ask people in Anambra State. Anambra was one of the most difficult states to govern. I brought peace, a bit of unity, security, transformation in it. You can go and check the records. They are there. They're open. Go and see comment of the former IG of police, where he said Anambra is the safest state in the past 5 years. The record is there. Go and look at what NECO wrote in 2013, that Anambra is the best result. This is a result of effort of doing the right thing. On people talking about primaries and everything. Yes. And let me tell you, there's nothing wrong in a party having coalition and going to. The best and most popular president of Indonesia today is a man known as Joko Widodo. A coalition came together and brought him to come and be their candidate. So they can do that. In this country, we have not been able, the political class have not reached a point where they say, let's sacrifice for the country. Rufai is better. Let's go with him. Rufai must be subjected to all sorts of marginalization, and I choose what I choose because for me, the commitment is about serving the country.
Okay. So you chose what you chose because commitment is about serving the country, not because you can play the politics to ensure that you at least stabilize. Because people are asking, how will you stabilize the country if you see crisis? Is that how you are going to run?
Rufai, a man who subjects himself to general election can be running for primary. So there must be something within that space that he doesn't want to. Otherwise, I'm not asking Nigerians to enthrone me without the election. What is the difference between primary election and general election? I've subjected myself to general election. What they're talking about is like you want to go and play in the big league, and people who are playing street match want you to say, why are you not playing in the street? Because they know that in the street there's no rules. Anybody can just do this, no referee. They can even break your leg. So I want to play where the system is. Let there be free and fair election in Nigeria. You know that in the last election, I won. Forget about
where's your proof that you won?
Forget about the proof.
They didn't declare
One day they won't declare me, but I can tell you, I've contested election in Nigeria as a presidential candidate and won. Leave who was declared. One day the story will be told. For now, I can tell you, I'm offering myself.
But we don't have evidence.
I'm offering myself for general election in Nigeria. I don't want to talk about the one day the process will be correct. The process will be transparent, and it will happen.
This time around, you're going. If you don't win this time, this is going to be your last time. You're not going to run for president again.
Well, for me, it depends on what happens, right? I don't want to say it because people might think maybe I'm saying because of some people. I believe that if at this morning, you will not believe this, a secondary school people asked me a question. If you run this time, will you run again? And I said, no. He said, why? I said, because if I don't run now, by the next time it comes, believing in the zoning formula, it will go north. And if it goes north in 2031, by the time it comes again to south, I told him I'll be 78 years old. I don't think I'll be doing this at that age.
So this is your last time to run?
But I said it depends. If it's still in south, in the next election, maybe, but the probability is very slim.
No, but it will be in the north because we have to respect the zoning arrangements.
Well, I don't know. I don't know till after the election. But I can tell you, if what I told you now is what will happen, I will not be running.
Why is it that you couldn't work with Atiku?
No, who said I couldn't work with Atiku?
I mean, but you left the ADC.
Can't you see what's happening in ADC?
Is it? Some people are asking, is it a must that you must be on the presidential ballot?
No. Can't you see what is happening in ADC?
Yes, I'm seeing what is happening in ADC.
And you think and anybody should stay there.
But
when you sit
people
there,
are also saying NDC too has been taken to court as regards your party registration. So when you talk about court cases,
when the court, no, we don't have that. We don't have 3 presidential candidates now. We don't have that situation. The situation, every situation has its own thing. When the court decides that we're not there, that's it. And you ask, is it a must that must be
on the presidential
ballot? There's nothing wrong with that. I'm offering myself. I was there.
The question people are asking, Kwankaso was on the presidential ballot in the last election, but today he's your running mate, he's your vice.
There's nothing wrong in that. Let me tell you. You can't even ask me that. Let me tell you, in the last election, if you add Abuja because they've added Abuja, if you add Abuja because they've added Abuja as a state now, Kwankwaso won one of the states. President Tinubu, Vice President Atiku and myself had 3 states, 12 states each. Even that happened because they took 2 of mine. They took Rivers and Benue. Otherwise, I would have had 14. As I said, if they did the right thing, I won. But however,
are you going to tell us the story of how they took Rivers and Benue from you?
No, everybody knows. Even children were still to know that. Everybody knows that. Even in INEC portal for a long time, it was there. The result was very clear. But that's not what I'm challenging today. But to tell you that you cannot tell somebody who won 12 states, is there a must? He must be on ballot. When other people want 12 states, you can no longer take me as a marginal contender.
Okay. But President Tinubu is making inroads into the East. A lot of your kinsmen, like your governor, openly come out to declare for President Tinubu.
No, they were there.
Openly come out to declare. And most of the governors in the Southeast, some of them have switched to the APC. In fact, people like Umahi are saying that this is the true Biafra they need. That's President Tinubu. You know what he has done? He has revolutionized the Southeast. How do you feel? Why is that your people do not believe in you? Your Kenneth Okonkwo that was with you before, last election, is not speaking for you again.
Okay, thank you very much. All these people you mentioned, apart from Kenneth Okonkwo, were not with me in the last election. So nothing has changed. It wasn't a case of there were too many governors. Let me tell you, there was no single governor with me in the last election. In fact, let me even tell you, I'm even exaggerating. There was no councillor. I did not have one elected councillor with me in the last election. I didn't have a local government chairman, no governor, no commissioner, no minister. So what has changed is even better now. I have some senators. At least I have 2 senators. I have 11 House of Rep members. So it's actually improved now. But I'm telling you that in the last election, I didn't have anybody with me. All I want is free, fair, credible election. Today, I'm working with Senator Rabiu Kwankwaso, which I'm very happy with. Happy with because
this is a man that called you names in the last election.
No, forget that. Happy, let me tell you why I'm happy. Forget about yesterday and names he called me. Happy because one thing you must learn and see in Kwankwaso is that he believes in pulling people out of poverty. He believes that a child of nobody can't be somebody without knowing anybody. And that's where two of us can work together to transform this country.
So all of a sudden you're saying we should forget what he said about you.
No, what did he say about me? He didn't say I'm a thief. He didn't say I'm a thief. There's nowhere where Kwanko said I'm a thief. There's no people who say this thing. You can find a place where he said I'm more qualified.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong in that.
Okay.
So many people say they are more qualified than me. But I'm saying, and it's true, so many Nigerians are more qualified than me to be elected, but they are not in ballot. Among those who are in ballot, I'm most qualified. Because, yes, you might be a professor, anybody, anything, but among those who are in the ballot is the people that are going to be elected. You cannot go and be electing people. It's like going to a game. You cannot be a spectator and be talking about medal. I'm in the field, I'm playing. I'm a competitor.
Inroads into the north is another one. A lot of people are saying, in the last election, you didn't do quite well in the north. The last election, you didn't do quite well. This time around, it might not change.
Well,
is there a strategy for inroads? Because you can't win the presidency without winning the north.
There's no strategy. The strategy is that I'm telling them, I can solve your problem. There's no strategy. Rufai, what I want to do is to turn around this country. And my commitment is total. And it's something that people can look at the past, where this man has passed. It's small business, in corporations where he served, in where he served as a governor. So it's not something you just say, oh, well, nobody's sure of what is going to happen. There's a verifiable evidence. So if you say you're a person of integrity, let's go where we gave you the last money to manage. What happened to the money? And I'll say it now. Show me any other person who left the amount that left while not owing anybody. And I've left that place, Rufai, Anambra State have not bought me a bottle of water since I left. When they are supposed to have a law which they wanted me to sign, to say they will build a house for me in Lagos, build a house for me in Abuja, build a house for I didn't. Because I said, what I say, I preach. What I preach is what I do.
Okay. I would like to take you on some of the very key issues. These are some of the criticisms against you. They say your criticisms of President Tinubu is quite very shallow. And I'll tell you why. Number one, you hardly prefer solutions to what you will have done as regards pertinent national situation. For instance, while you were giving one of your speeches recently, you said you add 4,000 extra megawatts, you're targeting 10,000 megawatts. Can you give us a breakdown by breakdown of how you are even going to achieve that 10,000 megawatts of electricity?
Fine. What people do here is to, because Peter Obi does not have sophistication of media and everything, to make what I say look like, oh, nobody has said it. Somebody said, if I don't give you power, don't vote for me. Did he tell you how he's going to give you power? So why was my own be in the marketplace?
But you are saying you are different. Can you tell us?
I'm different because where I promised it as governor, I delivered it. And I've said, and I repeat, that in 4 years, we will generate, transmit, and distribute at least 10,000 megawatts of electricity.
How are you going to do it?
No, I'm not going to tell you how. It is not for you to know how. It is for you to look at the man who is saying this. Go and check political promises all over the world. It's for you to look at who is saying this. Rufai is saying it. Can we trust Rufai? Somebody just said, if I don't give you, don't vote for me. He didn't even add 1 megawatt. Instead, he went down And it's telling you again.
But power production increase.
No.
I mean, we produce more than what we're producing in 2023.
Listen, forget about Rufai. Nigeria today, since 2015, no new power plants had been commissioned. Not one by this government. That's when I mean government investing in it. No new one. And in the next coming years, it will not happen because it takes at least 3 years to do one. So that promise was fake. If you compare it to countries like Indonesia, between 2015 and 2025, Indonesia added 70,000 megawatts of electricity. India, within the same period, added 171,000 megawatts. These are things you can go and verify. Egypt, within 2015 and 2021, added 28,000. Rufai, I was in Egypt, visited the power plants. I was in Indonesia, visiting, even met the president. So, Rufai, I know what I'm talking.
So, are you,
I will.
You would, so, you're saying you would do it. How will you do it?
I know how I'm going to do it because it's not for me.
No,
I said,
no, but Nigerians need to know.
They don't need to know.
We can't do blind
trust.
trust.
They don't need to know. They need to believe in me. And what they want to do is that maybe they've hired you for me to, everything I said, they go rushing it. No. Rufai, I will do it. I will even do more. I know what it means. Because I know that
so you're not going to tell us
the industries in Kano today are not working. I know what to do to provide that. That's why I visited this plant. Which other candidate are taking time to go to these countries and see what they're doing?
So, Mr. Obi, it's not about visiting the plant. It's about telling us how you will do it, how you will get.
They're not rocket science. They're not rocket science. What those countries do is not rocket science. It's not as if I'm going to bring what is not there. What they did is very simple. And Rufai, my commitment is I will deliver it.
Okay.
I have my name on it.
I want to ask you another, but you've not told us how you're going to do it.
Yes.
I want to ask you another question.
Yes.
In a case where you are not on this ballot, maybe because of a court case or something, what will happen?
What will I do if they don't want me to be on it? Rufai, I'm not desperate to be president of Nigeria. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work. I'm desperate to see these young people have a means of livelihood. I'm desperate to see people stop from stealing public money. I'm desperate to see Nigeria work. Today, all over the world, Nigerians are running to Niger, to Ghana, to this, because there's no opportunity in their country. In a country that God blessed with everything, I will start the transformation of this country by first uniting this country, bringing it together to be a country every person will be proud of, ensure social inclusion, start making Nigerians believe and verifiable, reducing the level of poverty.
Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Honestly, I feel like we should not go, but at this point we have to go. We've been here for over 2 hours. That video was just played up until 33 minutes and 18 seconds. I promise to be back with that video in our next broadcast. But all we admonish Nigeria is the fact that Mr. Peter Obi is asking for a free and fair election, which I think is justified, because I mean that's the only thing that we can ask for now, a free and fair election. That is the only way we can get things right. And he has said, I will give power, which is electricity, in 4 years. How I will do it, I will not put it in the marketplace. I mean, I truly understand him. He's a man who can hold by his word. And so Nigerians, the only thing that we can do at this time is to continue to support Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. He is the only viable option. Mr. Peter Gregory Obi is the only one that we can look up to now to give us a better country. And so everyone out there, and the only way we can carry this out now is through election. So if you don't have your PVC, please go get your PVC, and let us support Mr. Peter Gregory Obi. Is the only viable option, and I think that the only way to go is making sure that we support him and his running mate, Mr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. Let's support them. Let's give them all of our moral support, because if we must have a better country, there is no two other ways that this can be done is by supporting Mr. Peter Gregory Obi and Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso. These are the people that we keep on holding and then looking up to for a better country. So Nigerians, get your PVC, get your self ready. The election is drawing closer by the day. It's getting closer. Things are getting tougher by the day. A new Nigeria is possible, and that new Nigeria is what we are looking for and then yearning for. So please, everybody, get your PVC. Tell your people to tell their people that everybody needs to get their PVC. And so we hope to bring you more breaking news. We hope to bring you more current news in our next broadcast. Please like, subscribe, and share our videos. We do appreciate the time. We appreciate the effort that everybody is putting into this work. Please, 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 everybody, let's do our best. Let's do our part to make sure that Mr. Peter Gregory Obi and Mr. Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso win the election, and then we have a better country. Over 30 kings or monarchs have been they fled their throne in the south west, and so we look forward to a better country. We look forward to a better life, and the only way is when we have Mr. Peter Obi and Senator Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso as the flag bearer of NDC on the ballot, and then they get into office, the election is won, and then we can have a better country. We will see you again in our next broadcast. We look forward to your comments, to your contributions. Please continue to like our videos, share them. That way they can go very, very far, and people around the world can see what we are doing. Until we come your way again, don't stop watching us. Don't stop listening to us. We appreciate the effort. We appreciate the time that everybody is putting into this work. Don't forget, the only way to have a better country is when you and I play our own part. The only way to have a better country is when everybody plays their part. And so, please continue to put your voice out there. Continue to do your best for your country. One day, we will have a better country. One day, things will get better. One day, things will get normal. So, we look forward to chatting with you again. We look forward to coming back here again in our next broadcast. Thank you very much. Do have a blessed day and a wonderful week. Thank you. and bye for now.